AITA for blaming my dad and stepmother for my step-siblings thinking they would get a grandkid inheritance. My dad and stepmother got married when I, 17F, was 7 and my brother, 19M, was 9. My stepmother had 2 kids of her own who were 2 and 4 at the time. Our other parents are dead. Their dad and my mom. Their dad died while my stepmother was pregnant. My mom died 19 months before dad remarried. The only extended family my brother and I had was our mom's side, and when dad remarried he insisted my step-siblings had to be included or they couldn't see us. Grandparents' rights were not available at the time, so my grandparents agreed, but they made it clear to dad they were only including our steps because they loved us and wanted to see us. So whenever we saw our grandparents, my step-siblings did, and they grew really attached despite my grandparents never feeling any different. My step-siblings were a way to see my brother and me, not more grandkids or family in any way to my grandparents. It was the same for the rest of my extended family. They were treated fine, but they were never loved or wanted. Grandpa died in 2020 and my grandma died a month ago. Grandpa's funeral was done over Zoom but grandma's wasn't. My stepmother tried to send my step-siblings up to the grandkid section at the funeral, but an aunt and uncle stepped in and said it was only for grandkids. After the non-religious service, each grandkid got our grandkid inheritance, which was a lovingly made memory book that our grandparents did for us and had entries up until the day before grandma died. My step-siblings got nothing. This devastated them, and there has been an atmosphere ever since. My dad and stepmother are furious and went crazy on my aunts and uncles about letting it happen. Then my dad told me I needed to show some sibling love and loyalty and take a stand against my extended family, but I refused. My dad told me that wasn't okay and that I could not be so selfish. My stepmother said I owed it to my step-siblings. I told them none of this was my fault and I would not turn away from my family over it. They said I was by choosing my extended family. I told them they are my family. I will not push them away. They said it was cruel what they let happen. I said it was their dad and stepmother's fault in the first place. I told my stepmother she knew my grandparents only included her kids because they wanted to see me and my brother and that dad had made them do it. I said they should never have let the kids believe they were grandkids to my grandparents. They were the cruel ones, knowing my family had never loved the kids. And I said I would not stand against my family over this. They flipped over me, blaming them, and they said my brother and I lacked empathy and compassion like our extended family did. AITA?